We do have business that we need to conduct today, and I'd like to take a moment, first of all, just to say, if you wish to place someone in nomination for the office of First Vice President, then you need to come forward to the parliamentarian's desk at this time to prepare to make that nomination. Also, there's nothing to speak for. Also, we'd like to say that, I want to recognize Hayden Ratner, who is the chairman of the Committee on Order of Business, who's coming for a report.
All right. Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, Southern Baptist friends and family. Can we just use our hands one more time and clap, because this is the day that the Lord has made, Amen. And we're going to rejoice and be glad in it. Let's go. Again, I'll say rejoice. Thank you. It is the convention's long-standing practice that motions regarding complex matters be referred to the executive committee for its consideration. Under the standing rules of this convention, all amendments to the governing document in Baptist Faith and Message are automatically referred to the executive committee in their first year of proposal. Wade Thomas from Ohio presented a motion to amend the business and financial plan to ensure greater financial transparency. Chelsea McReynolds from Oklahoma presented a motion to require a 2/3 vote from messengers to approve all alterations to the Baptist Faith and Message 2000.
Under the convention's rules, these motions are referred as indicated by the Committee on Order of Business.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee determined that the following motions should be referred for consideration and report to the 2025 Southern Baptist Convention. To the Executive Committee, Benjamin Cole from Texas presented a motion to allow ERLC to raise funds from outside the Southern Baptist Convention. Kenny Cody from Tennessee presented a motion to reallocate all cooperative program funds from the ERLC to the IMB. John Boquist from Virginia presented a motion to form an ad hoc committee to study elders and deacons in local churches.
So it's moved from the Committee on Order of Business to refer these motions as displayed. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to the vote. As many as are in favor of referring these motions, would you please lift your ballots? Thank you. You may lower them. All who are opposed, would you please lift your ballots? Thank you. You may lower them. Those in favor have it, and the motions are referred.
Praise the Lord. The Committee on Order of Business recommends that the chair rule the following motions are not in order, as they direct an entity or are in conflict with the convention's governing documents. David Morrill presented a motion to request the president appoint a task force to investigate how Southern Baptists have responded to sexual abuse. As stated, the motion requests cooperative program allocations be directed to a task force, which is not in line with the business and financial plan. Ken Rucker out of Georgia presented a motion to direct the executive committee to disallow any politicians from speaking or advertising at the SBC annual meeting during election years. As stated, the motion would infringe on the rights of certain messengers to the convention, including our very own Mayor Don Currents, who invited pretty much all of us to his own campaign. So we cannot see that as in order. Respectfully. We have one more. Kenneth Carey from Maryland presented a motion to request the executive committee examine all North American Mission Board court documents since 2017. The following motion is identical to the motion presented by Joel B. from Florida, which is scheduled for this session's previously scheduled business time.
The chair rules the motions displayed on the screen are not in order for the reasons given.
Great. The Committee on Order of Business announces that the following motions are scheduled for consideration as followed, and these ones that I'm about to mention are scheduled for today, right around 2:15 p.m. Alan Featherstone from Utah presented a motion to appoint a blue ribbon committee to review the Baptist Faith and Message and come back with proposed revisions. Sean Dennis from Kentucky presented a motion to request the president form a fact-finding committee to review the work of the Abuse Reform and Implementation Task Force. Michael Sherwood presented a motion to direct the convention to remove pledges of allegiance to earthly kingdoms from all convention activities. This concludes our business report for this morning.
Thank you very much. I want to tell you something before he steps down. I didn't know until I was elected president. The Committee on Order of Business got here yesterday, an hour before the first session started, and met all of the time in between all of the sessions. And so they were here in meetings from the beginning of the first session until the end of the last session last night, and then met after that all the way through until quite some time. So these people never get out of this room, and we appreciate what you do. Microphone 5A, we don't really have anything on the floor for you to speak for or against. Would you state why you're seeking the attention of the chair?
Yeah, David Morrill, messenger from Applewood Baptist Church, Wheat Ridge, Colorado. I wanted to speak against my previous motion being ruled out of order on the basis that it was getting funds from the cooperative program, because it's my understanding that the...
So there's not a motion on the floor, so you can't really speak against something. If what you're trying to do is raise a point of order, or if what you're trying to do, I'm sorry, is to appeal the decision of the chair,
Yes.
you can do that.
Okay.
Is that what you'd like to do?
Well, I'm just trying to figure out why... Yes, that's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, very good. All right, so state your appeal, and what you're going to need to do here in stating your appeal is state why my ruling that it was out of order is wrong, okay?
Yeah, I suppose I would say it's out of order because the original commissioning of the Sex Abuse Task Force in 2021 allocated cooperative program funds for that task force. So I'm not sure why my task force seeking financial accountability cannot also allocate cooperative program funds.
Okay.
It seems like it's not an even standard at this point.
Stand at ease for just a second, if you will. So, thank you. I appreciate your patience. So it's an appeal. It's not something that's debatable. It's not something really that we can do a lot of back and forth. But I can just tell you that the way your motion was worded, it's not just CP funds. It was talking about CP allocation, which is different. And so that's the reason why it was ruled out of order the way that it was. But you're going to get a chance for the messengers to make a decision about this. And so we're going to have a vote on your appeal. And the way this works, the question before you is whether to sustain the decision of the chair. So 2/3 of you, a majority of you, I'm sorry, thanks. I do need him, I really do. So a majority of you would vote, if a majority of you vote in favor of sustaining the decision of the chair, then the decision of the chair would be sustained. So that's the question before you. Then, right. Okay. So as many of you as are in favor of sustaining the decision of the chair that the motion is out of order, would you indicate by lifting your ballots? Thank you. You may lower them. As many as are opposed, would you indicate by lifting your ballots? Thank you. You may lower them. Those in favor have it. The decision of the chair is sustained. We're about to nominate, so hold on just a second. And the chair recognizes microphone 10A. Would you please state your name, your church, and your point of order?
Yes, Mr. President, my name is Kenneth Cavey from Maryland, Bethel Baptist Church, a messenger from there. And I want to appeal your decision to rule my motion out of order. It was for the executive committee to investigate the NAM statements and were they in order of the bylaws and how they affected everything. And that does not require a vote, where my brother from Florida's would require a vote.
Okay, so the reason the motion was ruled out of order was because the wording was identical to the wording of another motion that had already been presented, which has already been scheduled for consideration.
And he could amend that motion to read his way.
And the other motion, if there's a slight difference in wording, could be amended by you to read the way that you want to. So there's already one item that's pretty much identical that's scheduled for consideration, and so any changes you would want to make would be germane at that time. So the appeal's been raised. Is there a second? Okay, we'll proceed to vote on the appeal. The question before you is, shall the ruling of the chair be sustained and the motion considered out of order? As many as are in favor, would you indicate by lifting your ballots? Thank you. You may lower them. As many as are opposed, would you indicate by lifting your ballots? Thank you. You may lower them. Those in favor have it. The ruling of the chair is sustained.